Okay, good morning everyone to day one, week 6 of the Guildford City Fitness live stream, or what is essentially for most of you, day 1 of the season. So I hope you're all ready to get going with us. Make sure your warm-up area is really clear, so you've got plenty of room to do what you need to do. Starting with today's warm-up is now split into stroke style activities. So today's fly themed, so we're going to start off the way we would normally on bullseye. So we'll start with our raise and then work through mobility and end on the prime. So if you haven't got a rope, you can just do a jumping. So we'll do 2 1-minute rounds of fly skipping. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. So feet backwards and forwards, try and hold your stomach. So the whole time you're going through this, you feel in your core. You start to lose your rhythm, try and go for a couple of bounces in the middle, and alternate, so a couple in the middle normally, then front, then back. Try and vary up the height as well, use your arms to keep your rhythm going, it's really the most important part of it. Trying to get performance squad, remember you've got to type in the comments so that we know that you are there. All over the place. Relax, 1 minute done. 10 seconds off, 1 more minute of that, then we'll crack on with the rest of it. 3, 2, 1, go.
So at the moment there's 12 people watching, but no one said who's logged on yet.
Alright, cool. Don't know about everyone else, but it definitely doesn't feel like week 6. This is harder without a rope. I definitely would have bought one by now if they weren't price gouging everywhere. Okay, 3, 2, 1, relax. Okay, rest of the warm up then, 6 repetitions of the following. We'll go dorsal press into sit back. So get as big a stretch in your lats here as you can. Chest down. And then press, try and get your chest as high as you can. Hips on the ground. Breathe out. Breathe in as you sit back. And try and get a bit further each time. Control your breathing as you go through, so to help you to relax and wake up. Ugh. 6 of those, then to 6 angry cat, happy cat. So again, breathing out at the top, breathing in on the happy cat, always mix them up. If you don't feel anything happening around your lower back, just hit your hips back a tiny bit. So you make sure that all the movement doesn't just come from mid-back and above. So it looks more like a scat press. Then into 6 walkouts. And priority being that you stay hinged over, so you get as much stretch in your hamstrings as you can. As long as your knees stay relatively straight. As soon as you bend them, it defeats the purpose. Concentrating your breathing as well, see if you can sink a bit further each time. Doesn't matter so much if your back rounds, as long as you get a big stretch in your hamstrings. Into downward dog on its own. So I like to isolate these aspects. So you're going to go into pike position and just go in and out of downward dog 6 times. So straight back, compressor plank. But the key is that when you're in the top of that downward dog, rather than just lifting your hips up, push your hands away. So it's like you're starting a push up with a straight arm. So push. So again, it starts connecting dots into other movements like handstands. 6 times through again, making sure you're really actively pushing your hands away into the ground. Then prone arm recoveries. Couldn't think of a catchier name for this. But if you think IYT, but try and make it more fly related. So hands down by your side. It's more like the finger drag warm up, but you're going to go out around the side and try and bring your hands overhead and then back down. Into streamline, but mainly again just to try and create as much stretch and activation as you can. As you do it, try and keep your knuckles, your fingertips and your elbows as far off the ground as you can. And finish off with 6 flat press-ups. So top of each one, try and get yourself as far from the floor as you can and push rather than just lifting your hands up to your chest. Warm-up's done, so if you grab yourself a drink, I'll just talk through part 1. So for those that haven't joined us on the live stream before, I'll explain what part 1's about while you're getting ready for this. And then we do all of that in one go, have a longer break, then do part 2. So the first part of today's session is movement skills. So you're going to go Superman's, 45 seconds into press up and rotation plank, and then some divers. So Superman's up to you which pace you set, but as a minimum, want going out long, elbow to knee. Press up rotation plank. You're just going to do a push up, and as you push out of it, go into rotation plank. So down, catch yourself at the top and control it. Rotate down slowly, push up, back up. Same on this side, but just copy my tempo as I go through it in the video. And then diver. Just single leg RDL, but you try and reach your hands over your head as you go through. Back up. Same on the other side. So a couple of seconds, and then we'll get going. 3, 2, 1, go. So as a minimum, usual Superman, hand and feet out, try and lift your heel just as high as your hips so you can squeeze your glutes as hard as you can. We'll do 20 seconds on one side and then switch, or you can hold it as a plank. Again, to make sure your wrist and your heel are only as high as your shoulder and your hip. Switch sides. Or even better, if you feel confident, just go single arm and leg plank. So, up here, and hold, relax. So in Performance Squad, if you have any questions, fire them off in the comments, or let us know afterwards. Just make sure you don't get lost in the way. So press up and rotation plank, 15 seconds off. I'm going to get going in 3, 2, 1, go. So normal push up, set up, control rep, and then 3 seconds down. 2, 1, down. 3, 2, 1. Try not to over rotate. So 10 seconds left. As you come up and out, hold that position so it's almost more like you're doing a straight arm side plank and you're combining the 3. Relax. 3 positions, 2 exercises. And then divers. So this is going to be an interesting thing for you guys to do straight at this time of the morning. For 45 seconds per leg. 3, 2, 1, go. So it doesn't matter which leg you start on. I'm going to base it on which way I'm facing so you get a better demo. So then most of you know single leg RDL or arabesque when you go out like this, hands out to the side, hinge forward, try and keep your legs straight. If you've got that, try and throw in a streamline reach up. So overhead, hold that T shape, and then lose it as you come back up into a high knee. 10 seconds left. Use a wall if you're struggling. So if you get to that position, find your posture, and then reach, relax, switch sides. So again, it's very deliberately called movement skills because you're having to spend the time thinking about your body position rather than just working hard on an exercise. 3, 2, 1, go. So ideal rep would be that you reach out as you hinge. Make sure you don't punt your door. But if you are struggling, it's a bit easier to bend your back leg so you keep more of your weight close to your belly button. At the same time, when you're at the bottom, I think those of you that have been through it with me before, if you reach your heel towards the door behind you, it helps you organise your body a bit more. So from there I'm actually trying to touch the door with my heel. All of this starts to organise itself. Leg has something to do. Relax. So now you get a 30-second break before we go into round 2. 2 more rounds of this before we go into the upper body strength section. So 15 seconds, get a drink. Start off with Superman's again. We're going to try and do a better explanation of the single arm and leg plank version. 3, 2, 1, go. So if you are going to try single arm and leg, best thing to do is make sure you've got some support behind you. So if you can get into that sort of position, then again, a lot of you have tried them before. If you've got something to put your foot into, it becomes much simpler to hold this position, but it's still very challenging. The switch sides, push your hand into the floor, drive your heel back behind you, and just try and keep everything between your shoulder and your hips facing the floor as though it was the bottom of the pool. If not, just holding that single arm leg position and relax. Into press up rotation plank. So ultimate aim is to use your core to control and create rotation. 2, 1, go. So as you go into that rotation, try and pull using your belly button. So if you have to, put your hand around it and imagine it's actually your core rotating rather than your hips turning. Hold for a few seconds. About 10 seconds left. Two, 1, relax. Up into divers. I think ultimately the idea, the more confident you get with controlling your body in the space, the more mobility you'll start to find at your hip and hamstring. 2, 1, go. So again, main focus, 1, staying upright, 2, not destroying furniture and hurting yourself, and 3, trying to be strong in as long a position as you can achieve on one leg. If you can find that position with a lot of bend in your knee, so again, me initially, if you can get down here, but you know you're bending your knee to keep balance, try and straighten it a bit more. So I'll demonstrate again on this side. Personally find this one a bit easier, which is why I always demonstrate that one first. But if you ever find that you can't see the demo properly, you want to change position, just let us know in the comments. 3, 2, 1, go. So again, if I can find it with a lot of bend in my knee, the goal becomes trying to get out of this position and into that. And you might find that your ankle takes a bit of a beating because it's trying to control you as you go further from the ground. But if you do it slowly and build it up over time, it's not that bad. But it does improve your stability a lot. I think a lot of you, or a lot of people in general, will find that's what they're lacking on the blocks. Ugh, relax. So another 25-second rest. And then that will conclude part 1. When we go into part 2, I'll explain while you're resting. Make sure you're taking small drinks, guys. Open windows if you need to. If you're indoors, if you're outdoors, make sure you still get some sort of layer on so you can stay warm. And then we're going to go with round 3 of part 1 in 2, 1, go. So if you're going for this version, you're trying to reach as far away as you can with your fingers and try and get your heel as far from you as you can as well. So from there, instead of just holding your foot, try and extend it behind you. You get a little more glute activation. And we're stopping in 3, 2, 1, relax. 15 off, press up and rotation. 3, 2, 1, go. Try and control the push-ups, so again it's not about rushing to get as many reps done as you can. It takes quite a lot of core control and shoulder stability. A couple of reps left. 2, 1, go. I definitely meant seconds. I'm probably about as shaky with words at this time as you guys are. So into divers. 5 seconds. And let's go. So if you can just do single leg RDO, great place to start, it's much easier to organise. Try and find that straight leg position if it's too hard to find from here. And even if you only get like halfway and hold it for a few seconds, it becomes a lot easier to achieve. And like I said, the fact that you're trying to balance in a weird position will start to create more stability. If you get more stable, you can find more range of motion, which is why we keep telling you static stretching isn't alone enough on its own. relax. That can one with foam rolling and other stuff. All these weird instability exercises. So that's to get your brain and body talking a bit more about how you can try and achieve positions. 3, 2, 1, go. And then just try and sync everything up. So as you go down, that's what determines your reach. So you shouldn't reach full extension to basically the bottom. Bring it back in as you recover. If you start to fall over, fight it. So if you're going down, start to shake, wait until that stops, and come back. And if you're going to fall over from here, wait a little bit longer, stop. So it seems a bit weird, but for every time you go into an extended position and collapse, it's just a missed opportunity. It becomes a lot harder to pick up. So you've got about a minute rest, just over. Part 2 is focus on upper body strength. So you've got 45 seconds of normal press ups, change the width if you want to. And then bent over rows, so heavy backpack, dips, and pullovers. So quite a bit of kit for this one. Pillows just replace a mat, because again, everyone's gouging prices. You have to be saying I didn't need the table.
I'll move my tea.
Okay, cool. Probably the best if I have my own place and I don't have to worry about where kit gets left. Once I get told off. Well, you, but...
Yeah, I was giving you the eyebrow then.
Okay. So I'll hide that till I need it. You got about 20 seconds of rest left. Normal push-ups. Bent over row. Dips on the table. And then pullovers. So get going in 3, 2, 1, go. So always quality over quantity. If you want to try 3 in 1 position, then switch and go for that. And then relax into bent over row. So the only thing you've got to worry about here is your back position. 5 seconds rest. 3, 2, 1, go. Massive squeeze at the top. If you think about the top of a pull-up position, back should be working as hard as it can there. Slow drop down. And then slow lift as well. If you've got a good enough handle on the bag, you can go single arm. Just make sure you hold that body position. And then switch sides about halfway through. But just making sure that as you get to the bottom, you don't start to rotate. And then when you pull, you don't rotate. About 3 to 5 seconds squeeze in there, and slow drop, and then relax. Dips after that. If you haven't got a table, you've got a bunch of books, you can make 2 small stacks and use that. There you go. So if you're building back into it, it's better to start with a slight bend in your knees. And keep your back straight. So there's a straight line going from your shoulders down to the ground through your hips. If you're straight leg and lean forward, you can't use your core. You can't squeeze that and keep it engaged. So your elbows and shoulders have to pick up the slack. It's better to go much slower, so if you go down for like 5 seconds, pause when your elbows and shoulders are in line, and then push up. Again, if you drop too low, it's just your elbows and shoulders that pick it up. Relax there, and then pull over to finish the round. 3, 2, 1, go. So basically all weighted dead bug, feet up in the air, bag over your head, reach out, slowly, pause at the bottom, pull it back. So you got a bit of back strength, a bit of scapular stability. But as you pull it back over, you want to be thinking about your lats. So when it comes back up, it's this muscle here pulling. 3, 2, 1, relax. 30 seconds off again. If you are switching arm positions on the push-up, just bear in mind that dips are trying to focus on triceps as well. So maybe just alternate between normal and wide for today so you hit your chest a bit more. So just about 5 seconds. Make sure you're taking small drinks if you need them. 3, 2, 1, go. Always go slow on the way down. Pause. And explode up as fast as you can. And as you go down, keep your elbows behind you. So you have 15 seconds left. Get someone to hold a belt for you if there's someone that can, rather than go on your knees. Make sure your elbows are back. Relax. It's about another row. 3, 2, 1, go. Always worth making sure there's nothing breakable in the bag before you go. And it's hard to get across in the video, but this bit here, you've literally got to try and flatten the bag into you. So that bit there, doesn't matter how heavy the bag is, you're literally squeezing as hard as you can, pulling your elbows up behind you. 15 seconds left. For the end of the video, guys, if there's anything you want me to cover from the new templates, let us know. And relax before you go into dips. Three, 2, 1, go. So again, shoulders in line with elbow. Slow descent, and then push yourself up as high as you can at the top. So rather than just getting up here and waiting, and try and get your hips up as high as off the ground as you can. Again, slow reps. Are much kinder on your elbow and shoulder joints to begin with. And then stop. Before you go into pullovers again. Couple of seconds. And 3, 2, 1, go. If you're using backpack for this, just make sure the handles are tied up so they don't dangle down and hit you in the face. If you do want to make this a bit more challenging, work away from wide hands, so you get hands on the outside of the bag to narrow underneath. And make sure your lower back is pressed into the ground the whole time. 5 seconds. And stop. 30 off. One more round, then you're done. We'll cool down and go over the challenge. Don't need that yet. 10 seconds. Again, keep drinking. And then ready to go in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Make sure at the top of every rep as well, you're trying to push the floor away as much as possible instead of just relaxing at the top. And stop there. 15 seconds, you're into bent over row. Three, 2, 1, let's go. The 3 to 5, or as long as you can hold that max effort squeeze. As soon as it drops off, just relax, take another rep. If you imagine, 10 seconds left, someone's pulling your elbows up behind you, because if it's not a maximal load, it's harder to squeeze your lats. But you stop there, so next time you do it, it's just your elbows moving, nothing else goes. Dips in 3, 2, 1, go. The other thing that's going to change how you do these is the height of the surface your hands are on. So if you're doing it on a lower surface, you're not going to get as much range. If you go too high, you might find that it bugs your elbows and your shoulders a bit too much. So keep your feet close, give you a bit more lift, and just go a lot slower. Getting quite boring to watch. The slower you do it, the closer you're going to get to failing. Failing being the point that you just collapse because you can't hold it anymore. But the main thing is that you're going to feel it a lot between your shoulder and your elbow, not inside them. And then pull overs to finish. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So the thing that's going to tell you whether the bag's too heavy is whether you can control it and keep your shoulder blades doing the same thing around here. Ten seconds left. 3, 2, 1, relax. That's it. So, round 3 done. Bit of a pre-cool down. The main thing we need you to focus on for now, guys, is the 4 key stretches that we've written up on the other sessions as well. But for having finished this session, we're still recommending the usual process. So 30 seconds, stretching all the main muscles, just to try and tell you what you need to do for the rest of the day in terms of mobility. For the level that you're training at, 30 seconds per muscle is not enough to keep you ticking over and keep you healthy. It's probably enough time to switch you into recovery mode. So finish all this, 30 seconds of stretching, tells your brain and your body that you relax and start recovering. And in best case, you use that to inform what you do next. So 30 seconds feels like you need more, grab your foam roller, do some other stuff. After that, you go hamstrings and block stretch. So front heel and back toe lined up. Trying to hinge forward with a straight back. Shoulders set. If you can't get any further, bend your knee and straighten it again. And then switch over. Doesn't matter whether you feel a massive difference between them in this position, but it will just start to guide and inform what you do for the rest of your cool down and mobility work. As always, we're just a message away. If you find that you've got other stuff you want to work on, let us know. If enough of you ask for it, it will go on the templates. But at the very least, we can address what you need, and then you can crack on with it. The lower you get, you're just going to reinforce that straight back. If you get any further with a rounding back, it messes up the learning. Hamstring, then you go into hip. We'll go with the normal one just to revise it. Seeing as it's one of the 4 key stretches for the resistance section. Main thing, core engaged. So if you relax like this, you might feel the stretch, or because this is all switched off, your body won't recognize it when you're trying to hold those core positions with good hip mobility. So if you measure the upbeat of your kick, when you need that hip mobility, you would never be kicking with a relaxed stomach. So when you do this, you've got to make sure this is the rest of your body's organized. Even if you don't feel it quite so much, if your body's organized, you know you're hitting this, and you can squeeze your hip. Switch sides. You don't have to lean in a straight line from knee to shoulder, but if you're up here, to make sure that you're squeezing, sort of like you're about to do a crunch or a plank. But then also you can squeeze through your hip. If you can't engage your hip here, you need to tighten up some more, because again, you won't be able to actively lift your knee behind you when it really matters the most. Then you've got lats. I find it easier with this. So, hands on table, push your head through your hands, and then if you want to stretch, so all you need to do is get as much distance, again on the notes and the templates, as much distance between here and your hip. So to do that for the left side, push your hips away from your shoulder. So a bit of an angle, flat position there, which you're used to, and then shift your hips away. And for the right side, you shift them to the left. So that alone is going to make a massive difference in the stretch. You'll feel it a lot lower down rather than just up around your shoulder. Not to say that you shouldn't just focus on that. If you haven't done this one before, you'll get a lot more from it. Especially if you bring your hands closer together as well. And relax. So 30 seconds, just play around with that different position, see how it feels. And then chest stretch. Again, if you still got the table with you, elbow above shoulder. And then concentrate on breathing. So instead of trying to force the stretch, stay in this position, support with your other hand. If you breathe in, big breath in, and then just exhale for as long as you can. Slowly relax, stance hand, and just see if you naturally start to sink lower. If you want to try and push, so if you're pushing from this position, and you don't quite feel it where you need to between your shoulder and your chest, put your hands together and try and drive your elbows together. So I think a lot of us have done this in person. But there, and push. Get a big squeeze in your chest, shake it out, and then go back into this stretch. And again, just see whether you feel more of a stretch than you did before. Other ones for you to look at. So the 4 key ones were in there, that are covered on the sheets. But neck stretch, so make sure you don't slouch. Try and relax your left ear down to your left shoulder. And just use your left hand to encourage it, so don't pull. Slouch down to make sure you don't round your back. And from front in position, let your head fall to the side and rest your hand on top. If you've got enough reach on the table, try and pull them with your fingers. So again, you're getting more distance between your shoulder and your ear. If you ever want to check it, make sure you can still turn your nose over your shoulder. I've never been able to do it, but I know a lot of you have. So if you can't, start throwing that one in as well. If you're still confused about what you think you should be working on, let us know. That's probably the most important part for rebuilding your routines. And the more you talk to us on day one, or in week one certainly, the easier it will be to start building up and ramping up your program as the weeks go on. And the last thing you want is to get to the end of the month and find out that your mobility started to go away again. Challenge-wise, you've got running tonight, so there's not going to be any running on it. Laptop. It is the handstand challenge. So a lot of you have been doing a really good job on this one anyway. So responsibility is the name of the game. 30 minutes focusing on headstand, handstand, or walking handstand, or cartwheel. So whichever one you can't do, before or after your run, follow the schedule that's on the front of the templates. Make sure you finish your cool down properly and go for your 30 minutes, ideally, because then tonight, 5 p.m, like we would normally train, you're going to go out for the runs. That's broken up by group. Follow what's on the sheets that you've been sent by Lee. For now, concentrate on the challenge. So after you've done this, grab a bit of food, and later on in the morning, just dedicate 30 minutes to try and get as good as you can at those different movements. At best I can manage a wall walk for now. But that was a long time coming. I'll throw you a preview just because. Good thing the door's here. Well, if I can do it, there's no reason why a lot of you can't either. Just make sure that if you need supervision, you've got it, so you don't hurt yourself. That's going to do it from me for now. Any questions? Most important thing is that you'll let us know, because ultimately that's what's going to help guide you. A few of you already have. I'm really glad to have seen that. Just means that you're on the right track. Day one and week one are probably the most important ones for you guys at the minute. So let's get off on the right foot. That's going to do it from me, and then from everyone else at Guildford. Thanks for watching.